Hello there! Hi, welcome to our very first live stream. We are joining the cool kids and now we are streaming live on YouTube. Super excited about it, albeit a little bit scared. I don't know whether you are there, whether you can hear me. I just assume the best and I'm optimistic. And yeah, I'm excited to get it started. So here's what we are going to do today. I'll start with a brief introduction and I will explain what is UXPin and UXPin 2.0, what is this whole process about. And then I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite improvements in UXPin that we introduced in the past month or two. And then I'll finish with little announcements of what's coming up, what is happening at UXPin, and I'm hoping that you're going to like it. Okay, so for those of you who do not know what UXPin is a UX design platform. And what makes us special and different than almost anybody out there on the market is that we are code-based. What that means is that whenever you're drawing something on the screen, our engine is building HTML, CSS. And when you are adding interactions, our engine is building JavaScript for you. So that helps us create the most powerful prototyping experience out there. You can create highly realistic prototypes indistinguishable from the real thing, and you can do it in record time. So this is UXPin. Now, what UXPin 2.0 is all about. You know that there's plenty of design tools on the market these days. There's almost a new one every day, and it's super exciting. It's great for all of us designers. It comes with challenges, though. It comes with the challenges of a feature war. So all the tools on the market are trying to build new features as quickly as they can, just ship them to the market. Now, that doesn't work well with the quality of solutions offered by all the companies on the market. And we believe at UXPin that great products are not just collection of features. They're experiences. And then to achieve a great experience, you have to be patient and you have to work on all the details. So with UXPin 2.0, we decided to put a pause on the feature war and instead invest all of our powers into improving the experience on UXPin and just taking this whole design and prototyping industry to the next level. So this is UXPin 2.0. Let me show you some of my favorite things that we introduced recently. So I'm going to switch to the browser, and this is UXPin. UXPin as you know it. I'm going to compare it to UXPin as it was in June 2019, so you can see all the differences out there. We are going to start with something that's absolutely critical to any designer, typography. So I'm going to just type in some text, let's say architecture. And as you can notice, the size of this text element adjusted automatically to the content. So if we'll go with something shorter, you can see that the text element is automatically shorter. It adjusts to the text. Okay, we'll get back to architecture. Now, this is a completely new feature in UXPin, and it came with the entire new text elements that we introduced a couple of months ago. Let me show you how entering text worked like in June 2019. It was quite different. We'll do the same operation, but this time I have to draw the text element, type it in, and you can see that the bounding box does not adjust to the content. It doesn't happen automatically. So if you want to adjust it, you have to do it manually, right? It's a small thing, but it just saves a ton of time. Of course, you can switch it off if you want to, and then you're free to adjust the size of the text element in any way you want. So you can do it the old way if this is what you desire, but you can also switch to this automatic adjustment of the text element size. This is just one of the improvements of the text elements. Text element became significantly faster and is significantly richer. So let me show you something else that I'm really excited about. So I'm going to enter two characters that many designers are familiar with. We have to switch the font because this function that I want to tell you about is not served by Neue Haskell text. I'm going to switch to Lava, and Just make it a little bit bigger so you can see what's going to happen. Okay, so for us designers, like that doesn't look right? We should have a ligature over here for F and I, because this dot of I and the end of F are very close to each other and looks kind of messy. So now we can just turn on the ligature that is part of the font file, can be turned on in UXPin. Another small improvement, but really critical part of the overall experience. And we didn't have it back in June 2019. This is brand new and came with our new text editor. Okay, so this is the first exciting change in UXPin that I absolutely love. It changed the way I design, because now not only I can create rich prototypes in UXPin, but also cover the highest possible level of fidelity. So let me show you another thing. I will switch to June 2019, and show you how back then it was possible to create a grid of elements in UXPin. So we'll draw a box. So again, this is the old UXPin, and I'm going to add a photo on the background, just a random architecture piece over here. Now, if I would like to create a grid of elements, I would need to manually go ahead and copy paste those elements. And this is kind of what you expect from a design tool, right? I mean, like a little bit of manual work out there. Okay, we have a grid. I can select all of them, and I can refresh data over here. All right, so we felt like this is pretty good. It's cool. I mean, like UXPin integrates with different data sources. You can use our built-in data sources, or you can connect Google spreadsheet or a JSON file. That's pretty cool, right? But we wanted to take it to the next level, because again, like the UXPin 2.0 is all about the details of the experience. So I'm going to do the same thing. Draw a box. Draw a photo. Just go ahead with architecture again. But now I'm going to press the Option key, and as you can see, something changed over here. There's a new trigger available. And now I'm just going to drag it. And as you can see, we are getting this grid significantly faster, and it's more, it's easier to use, it's faster, and just offers a better workflow. And that's a good example of what UXPin 2.0 is all about, just improving the overall workflow for designers. Okay, so we have a cool grid full of images. Let me show you another thing that is brand new in UXPin. Let's create a button, right? Because all of us designers, we create buttons all the time. So UXPin, as you might be aware of, has states. And we are, I believe, the only solution on the market that offers states for every single element on the screen. So we'll create a flat button to start with. Let me just change it back to Neue Haskell-Task. We'll go with slightly smaller size. By the way, something that is part of UXPin for about a year, I believe, accessibility features. So we can automatically see that the contrast is not right between text and the background. Well, no wonder we have black on black. Let's switch to white. We'll just leave this this label be. But now what we are going to do with this representation of a button right now, we are going to add, let's say, a hover state. So click on states, and I can add a state to this button. Let's do that. And just to make it visible, of course, we are going to change the background color over here. Well, it's not the most beautiful button, but just for the sake of an example, I'm going to make it gray so you can see the change. Okay, very cool. So we have a button with two states. We can add an interaction that's going to change the state on hover. Okay, we're going to change it to the hover state. We can preview the animation. And let's just rename it just to make it clear that this is our button. Okay, it's interactive. Very cool. Now we are going to change it into a component. And symbols, as we called them before, were part of UXPin for many years. I believe since the beginning of UXPin, so end of 2011, we had symbols. But now we have an ability to edit the master symbol. So let's say that we want to have two buttons, and you want to change the label. Okay, you can do it because you can overwrite all the properties of the button. But now, all of a sudden we think like, okay, we need some radius on corner. You can go into the edit master mode over here, and you can change the radius of corners. Let's say 10. We'll make a super radial button, and it will automatically apply to all the instances without affecting all the overrides. Okay, so now if we switch to UXPin preview, we have two interactive buttons over here with a hover state. So that's pretty unique to UXPin, that you can add those states to any elements that you are creating. And this master state editing ability is brand new. We've added that for UXPin 2.0. Okay, so let's clean up our layers panel so I can show you a couple of really cool things over here. We'll just group all of those images, rename the group. So now, something that perhaps you notice is that we have a brand new layers panel. And layers panel is part of our overall overhaul of UXPin performance. So this little panel over here was actually responsible for some of the performance issues in the old UXPin. To observe the change of the performance, this is a little bit difficult over the live stream, I suppose. But I can show you that there's a little bit of lag whenever you're selecting an element. Just a split of a second, maybe 200-300 milliseconds over here. But you can feel it when you're interacting with the tool. And again, UXPin 2.0 is about all those details. So it actually matters how our users feel whenever they're selecting element. In UXPin 2.0, the change, the selection, is immediate, and you can feel it. You feel that the tool is so much faster. And we achieved that thanks to the absolutely completely new layers panel that our team built from the scratch. It's brand new. It also came with some significant features. So now when you're hovering over the element, the hover state changes also on the layers panel, so you can quickly identify which element, where the element that you're hovering on is on the layers list. And there's more. Now we have a contextual menu for our layers. I mean, like, it's nothing highly innovative, but it's a detail that we were missing, and we felt like we absolutely need that. It feels natural for software, even though UXPin works in the browser. It feels natural for software to have the contextual menu available at all times. And we've added a bunch of important options here. You can copy style, paste style, all of that is now available from this contextual menu on the layers panel. And also we added an ability that some of you may remember from old Adobe tools to mark layers with a color. This is pretty cool and allows you to actually organize all the elements of your all the elements on the screen by category of your choice. So it helps with collaboration. UXPin is a real-time collaboration tool. Just a funny notion, a side notion, is that we got real collaboration back in right at the beginning of UXPin in end of 2011, early 2012. So it was always part of UXPin, and now you can also organize the architecture of layers to communicate the meaning of those layers to people that you're working with. Now, another option over here in our layers panel is the ability to filter layers. So this is just a teeny tiny project, right? So it might be not as exciting as in a big project. But let's say that we just want to find all the components on the screen. You can filter them on the layers panel, and this is pretty unique to UXPin. Or you're looking for groups, you can do that. You can see all the groups over here. So this is very useful in big projects, and I absolutely love this feature. But we didn't stop there. Another thing, tiny detail, which saves a ton of time and just makes your work so much easier, is the fact that now you can inspect components down to the lowest level of nested layers, right? So in case of our button, you can, without entering into some sort of an edit mode for the component, you can actually see the background over here, and you can modify it, right? So it's becoming very, very, very fast. Okay, so those are our new layers, extremely, extremely fast, and with a full feature set. We are very proud of our layers panel. We feel this is a massive improvement to UXPin usability. Okay, so those are the layers, but this is not everything. Perhaps my favorite improvement of UXPin that is part of the UXPin 2.0 initiative is all about zoom. So let me show you how zoom works in June 2019 and throughout the history of UXPin. I'm just going to pinch. Like you see, I mean, zoom works, right? Like we're getting the details. It feels kind of slow though, so I need to put an effort into the pinch out movement. Zooms to a weird position, and very soon we're going to be stopped by UXPin at 1000%. So this is okay, but not exactly good enough, right? For designers who are using UXPin to create highly detailed, high fidelity prototypes. So we decided to change our zoom, and now you can see it's significantly faster and goes to the level of individual pixels. And I'm not sure if this is well visible on the live stream, but it's just extremely fast. It doesn't hesitate in any way. You're just getting all those interactions momentarily. It just feels great. It feels great. And whenever you need to work on tiny details of the of your design, you have this zoom available to you. Now, performance is the most important thing about is our zoom improvement, but we added a couple of things that are focused on significantly improved workflow. So if you click on the zoom panel over here, you can see that we have an option to always zoom to the selection of an element, right? So if we'll do that and just select something in the group over here and zoom in, we are getting right to the selection of the element. And this is very, very useful. I typically actually work with this option turned on because it just, to me, it feels more natural. It just feels more natural to me. Okay, so this is zoom to selection. You can also use our fit all, fit selection option. So I'm just going to use the shortcut. It's Shift 1 and Shift 2. And with Shift 2, you're zooming into selection automatically. And then you can fit all the entire content of a particular page in your design if you press Shift 1. It's very natural and just makes the entire workflow so much faster. We also added the zoom that is triggered by selecting objects on the screen. You can press Z on your keyboard and then zoom to a particular element on the design by selecting it. So we feel that our zoom now is finally complete. It offers the full experience, offers it at full performance, world-class speed, especially taking that we are working in the browser and we are working with real HTML, CSS, and JavaScript elements. So this is significantly more difficult than working with vector objects. So those are my favorite changes that I'm extremely excited about. I'm so proud of our team. But let me show you the complete experience that you can create in UXPin. So I'm going to show you the just a teeny tiny prototype that connects some of our newest improvements, of course, but also things that were part of UXPin for a while. So we have this little interface over here, and it has a special kind of components. Those components were not created in UXPin. They're imported from a production code base. And they are available here thanks to a technology that you might have heard about, UXPin Merge. UXPin Merge is in a closed beta right now. Just over 70 companies have access to this technology. And those companies can connect UXPin directly to the production code base. It's pretty magical. And then designers can design with those production code components without actually knowing how to code. So it's magic. It's magic. But let me show you how those things come together in UXPin. with this little prototype. So as you can see, you can switch between those components, and the animation on the button, which would be very hard to recreate in any design tool, is applied automatically. This is piece of production code, right? So you can see that the hover effect starts from the place of my click. This is, by the way, this is React.js implementation of material design. So that is part of just production code for those components. But now I connected those components with classic UXPin features, so I can enable super interactive experiences. So we are going to enter car as a keyword, and you can see that it switches to the car, and we'll go with motorcycle, and it switches. But if we'll go with something completely random like bread, doesn't do anything, right? If we'll go with Ford, it works, right? So this is the level of fidelity that you can achieve only with UXPin. You can design with production code, and you can build those highly realistic prototypes. Okay, so we are right in the middle of UXPin 2.0 initiative. It is not one of those grand launches that companies prepare working on them for years. On the contrary, we are constantly improving UXPin. Since we started working on UXPin 2.0, we had hundreds of little improvements in the app, and they're coming to UXPin every day. So UXPin, you can expect that we are getting better and better and better. This is, of course, also a very important part of our culture. We are very much a design and product-driven organization with a huge inclination for engineering excellence. That's just who we are. We care. We want to create the best experience for you that is possible. So I'm very proud of what we accomplished so far, but I promise there's more coming up in the coming weeks and months. Some things that I'm extremely excited about is a complete overhaul of our sitemap, which is going again to improve performance of UXPin. It's going to apply some of this detailed approach that we applied in our layers panel to the sitemap. So this is going to be a very special release. We are also working on interactions. We are working on some critical parts of the design workflow. So super exciting times for UXPin, and I hope you like it. And final thing, just a little announcement of our upcoming mini virtual summit. So on November 19th, we are going to have, well, 2 experts and me. It says 3 experts, but it's just 2 experts and myself talking about product development. We're going to have Luke from Hotjar. We're going to have Tim from Drift, so great companies. And we're going to zoom into the way to create the best user experience possible for amazing tools. So please join us. This is the URL that you want to enter into your browser to sign up and save your spot for our webinar. And I think that's it. This is the end of our first live stream. So I hope you liked it. Please let us know what your thoughts are. You can find me on Twitter at Marcin Treder, and I'm looking forward to hear your feedback. Take care, and I hope to see you on our next live stream.